I make this video to give glory to God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. Amen. You guys, we got a couple serious topics I want to go over today. Things are getting really intense out here. This has been a rough last couple weeks for me. I'm trying to get a few things together in my life right now. Hey Tyree, I'm doing well. How are you doing, my friend? I didn't know you would be up right now, but I'm glad to see you. Hey, finally caught a quick live. Hey Lloyd. Wow, you guys are just in here so quickly, and I just got in. I appreciate y'all. How you doing, my friend? But you guys, I didn't expect anyone to come because it's late over here. But let me not ramble too much. You guys, lately I have been seeing a lot of alien coverage, things about aliens constantly. Brother Marco was talking about it the other day, and I really wanted to come on that day, but things got crazy. But keep me in prayer, you guys. I'm just going through some stuff behind the scenes, trying to get a few things together, but it's a little chaotic. But the government, I'm well, thank you. Did you hear about the lady stopping the plane, saying there was a person that wasn't real, talking to her? Yeah, I remember that. She was saying that that person back there is not real. Honestly, when I first saw the video, I was like wondering, like, what did she see? What did she see? I know a lot of people like disregarded her, and the people in the comments were saying stuff like she was tripping on something or she was on drugs. But I was generally concerned and thought she really saw something because, like, the level of spiritual things I've seen and like stuff in the physical, I don't like push stuff like that to the side because I know that there's a lot of evil entities out there. Hey, Susan, it's the recent congressional whistleblower hearing. Yes, I was watching some of it. Yes, no, this today and yesterday, I believe. And oh, sorry, y'all. But it's very concerning, you guys. This stuff is very concerning because, I mean, I have a couple videos on my channel that I spoke previously about the alien deception. I have a couple videos about alien deception on here. I believe her because another guy said he seen a man with his head down and seen her talking to him. Yeah, you're right. And when I saw a follow up on the video too, there was another guy that said that there was some guy blinking, but his eyes was not blinking like this. It was like that, kind of like a reptile. And I believe him. I believe something was going on. Something weird is going on. It's like all of a sudden in 2023, and end of 2022, the government wants to be just so forthcoming about all these so-called aliens, which we know are demons. Let's just put that out there. Um, all of a sudden, they want to be so forthcoming about that. But in that, it's been years of non-disclosures, cover-ups, murders, you know, trying to silence people. I've heard so much stories about aliens, crashing on farmland somewhere in some rural area, and they've like either wiped the family out or relocated these families and or silenced them and all this craziness. Well, all of a sudden, they just want to be so forthcoming. I just find all of it very, very, very suspicious. Okay, and to be honest, a lot of these people in the government, they've exposed themselves because all I've been hearing in this disclosure meeting with this whistleblower is that something about reverse engineering and the crafts and stuff like that. That was their intention this whole time. They wanted to gather the technology that they found with these so-called aliens, demons, because they wanted to use it for warfare. What they're what these people in these high places in government are feeling to tell people, but I'm gonna tell you what's really going on as far as what I saw spiritually with this stuff is that the government is fully cooperating with these things. These things things have been here for many years, okay? These demons. I don't understand or know why they have a flesh form, but that is something that God will have to clear up for me, because I was asking that when I was at work today, as far as why and how they're able, and why were they able to still come here in flesh form? Because as far as I know I've seen these in visions, but that was always a question to me. As far as I know, a lot of these demons are not of flesh in anymore. But in the end times, I do believe they will take on these flesh forms, because it's being allowed. Because a lot of them are coming out of the pits. Okay, a lot of them are being allowed by God to come and wreak havoc on the wicked of this earth. Okay, because we are in the last days. Okay, and I keep saying this, but every year that passes, that gets closer to 2025, things have progressively gotten worse. People thought after COVID things were going to improve, but it's just a cover up, okay? It's a cover up. The government is doing whatever they can to stabilize the economy and make it seem like it's stable, but printing money on massive scales. You know, we are in a recession right now, okay? But that recession stuff is the least of our worries. But my point of bringing it up is they're trying to make everything seem like nothing's going on here. Just keep walking. Just keep going about your day. But really, behind the scenes, it's all a wreck. Okay? They've gathered all of this technology from these beings, from these demons, and now things have gotten out of control. The government is under the impression that some of these alien species have these subsets, that there's some of them that are aggressive and some that are coming here to help us, and others that are just, willing to give them technology and information and knowledge, but they have this idea that there's just different groups and they all have different motivations, but they're all a part of the plan. They're all working together for the same cause of evil. Did you know Washington is built like an Egyptian temple, or Osiris, god of the dead? Oh, I've heard that. Oh, sorry guys, it's late here. And it's designed to excuse me, allergies, reincarnate this deity as the American president. But Osiris is just another name for devil. Yeah, I have heard this before, and there's a lot of the monuments are built this way. I've heard that they're all connected in some way to try to like they all point to like a certain direction, and I heard that on the map they all like um, I don't know, create like some weird image or something. In 2025 to 2028 is going to be hard on the earth for all people, yes. And the thing is, the these horrible things that are coming on the earth, it's a lot closer than we think. A lot closer. Because when I saw the calamities that came here, you guys, and it just makes me sad to revisit that stuff in my head. But when I saw the calamities that came here, it happened within a day, you guys, within an hour. Things just got crazy within 1 hour. Things just got out of control. You know, there was things coming out of portals everywhere, demons. They was also very tall looking alien type demons that had the image of aliens, but they looked like very large octopuses. And I saw a video today of this camera. There was a camera, I believe it was on the Mexican border, and it was in one of, I guess, in a tree, somewhere close to a tree. There was, I'll call it in a video, and I saved the link in my phone as well. And so if anybody wants to see it, I'll link it in the video of this monkey. It was a monkey type of being. And I say being because it wasn't really a monkey. I'll explain what it is soon. But it saw the camera. I guess it went up the tree to get food or something up there. and it saw the camera and it had this look in his eyes. It had this like look like of evil, like this daunting evil, and the mouth was open like this. And this is not a photo, this is a real video. And you could see the face looked very similar to a human. Okay, it had a human like expression to it, as if what a human would have when they're upset or angry, furiously angry. I talked about these things that I saw in the last days, and I saw them coming on the earth when there was an extremely bad snow or something, some horrible winter that hit the earth. It was so bad. Like this winter that hit us was so horrible that it killed like millions of people just from the frigidness. And these monkey demon beings, they they were everywhere. They were killing people. I mean, pulverizing. Like their fists were so huge. It was like 10 times the size of a human hand. Okay? And they weren't like the monkeys that was in the jungle, like the ones that are larger. They stood upright like human beings. They walked upright, okay? And they it's not like how some monkeys are able to do that, and but then they'll get on all fours. No, these things stood and walked upright at all times, okay? And they were massively muscular, okay? They were very tall, and they had the intelligence of of like a militant military type group. They were working in groups together. They were extremely intelligent. They understood human speech. They were able to track people. They had like superhuman senses. Like they could smell people. They were alerted of the presence of people. They were plotting and they were moving like military groups. It was like it was crazy, and you didn't want to be caught by any of these demon entities, and their faces were so evil. But they were so strong in force that when they found people, when they caught them, they would beat them to a pulp, okay? Like that's how much force they had. They were like pulverizing people. But I saw like during this time, people were hidden, like people were hiding in like places, like it was out the way. They were moving like further from city areas, kind of like the vision had about 2025. But these like monkey things, these monkey demon humanoid things, look, I don't know where they came from, if they were created in a lab or something, but they were highly intelligent. Okay. Hey, hey, Lions Roy. Hey, my friend. See, you saw the news. Are are the leprosy breaking out in Florida? It's starting. Yeah, I saw that. And they have some type of bug issue, like swarms of like bugs everywhere too. Like it's really bad. Yeah, and I heard that leprosy is like increasing in high numbers all over again. Just like the Bible said, just like the days of old, those things will repeat. It's true. The unclean of this earth, the wicked, unclean people, they're beginning to get the same diseases like they got in biblical days. All of this stuff is going to come back. Look, people are going to have to start putting the blood on their doorpost again, okay? It is getting really insane out there. The eye of the providence on our money, not the eye of God. He don't have no one's eye. It's a peekaboo devil eye looking at you. I've heard that. It's very demonic, very Illuminati. Blessing, sister. Hope you and the little ones are doing well. Hey, Jack. Yes, we are doing so good. Thank you, my friend. Keep us in prayer as always. I never turn down prayer. It's like gold, especially in these days. Thank you, though, my friend. How are you doing, Jack? Isn't these aliens fallen angel demons? Look, there's so many groups of these demons, but let's put it simply because I know it can get kind of crazy. All in all of these things are demon entities, okay? But some of them are derived from Nephilim. Some of them are just monsters that were created from humans having sex with aliens. Not aliens, sorry. This alien talk has got me looped. But from humans having sex with fallen angels. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I've been struggling with my allergies right now. And the ceiling fan is making it worse. But anyway, you guys, I just don't even know where to start. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. I hope everyone in the chat is well. Amen. Amen, my friend. But you guys, I just don't even know where to start. Like, the insanity of the videos that I'm seeing releasing everywhere of these demon, humanoid, alien beings is insane. We need to be watchful. The last, most recent vision that God gave me about these aliens is that when they came to this earth, look, you guys, they came to this earth, and I saw them descending on earth in these in ships everywhere, these massive ships. Okay, and they came out of the ships and they were acting like they were friendly and they were trying to be inviting. And I remember a group of people, like Americans, this was being done in America. Americans, I remember them kind of like walking up to the ship, but not like in an inviting way, almost like they was like shocked. I remember a man in particular. He was a white male and he had this white T-shirt on and a tie, and he had on like work pants, like a dark colored work pants. I could tell this event happened in like a random like in like an hour. Like I said, how things got crazy within an hour in a random time of day in the afternoon. And people didn't know how to gauge the whole situation. But I remember the people that walked up to them kind of like scared. They had a look of fear and like curiosity on their face. And that one guy stood out to me, the white guy, and he had this look on his face like he was just like shocked. He was shocked because now it wasn't just something on TV. It wasn't some YouTube conspiracy video. They were literally having their ships in the middle of the street, stopped everything. Everything stopped. There was crowds and hundreds of thousands of people standing around watching in curiosity. And I remember one of the alien being things came out, and he came up to this white guy and he was trying to lead him to the ship. And I remember him speaking to the guy telepathically. He never moved his lips or had lips, but he was saying stuff, something like, "Don't worry, it's safe, it's safe. Come with me. I want to show you something. Let me show you our technology. Let me show it to you." And that is how they're going to approach people. And that is how they have approached the people in the government. The technology. They want people to feel like gods, okay? That's what it was. They want them to feel like gods. And this technology, the government, people in the government, what they're failing to mention in their little disclosure, that guy that was there, is that they've been in connection and in been cahoots with these aliens for many years, okay? Did they disclose that they already had these these specific guns? There's a laser type of guns that doesn't emit like a bullet that they would be using in the last days, and they've given this type of technology to the government. They're using this type of technology, okay? The men in black, those men in black things, they are a created being. This is something created with bodies, with human DNA. Those things are created by our government. They're weapons. These are weapons of destruction, okay? And I was told this, I was shown this. These when the white guy that had the shirt on, the white shirt and the tie, when the alien led him up to the spaceship, something came off of the ship, and I saw staircase started descending from the ship, but they were hovering, and there were plates that was leading from the highest point to the lowest point, and the plates, for some reason, when you would step to the ship, right, some of the plates would actually come under your feet and form under the feet and come under it. And I remember seeing this guy and another ship that was next to it. For some reason, I came to the ship, and then the plates were coming under my feet as I was walking to the ship. And I remember kind of like almost stumbling, like I almost fell. In real life, I would never approach this thing. Never. Okay? The strangest part of this vision is I saw some people get into these spaceships. I was one of them. And this is going to be a little bit um, difficult to explain, but please use your spiritual ears. How do I put this in words? I got into one of the ships. So did some of these people. These ships started ascending at a massive rate. It must have been past the speed of light, like people say, okay? I was taken to space, okay? And I went to this place that was past space. And I was seeing something. It was this light. It was a light, but it looked like radioactive radioactivity mixed with the sun. And that's the best way I could explain it. But it was like a orange, bright orange, yellow in color. And it looked like it was like moving like that. Like the best way I could describe it. It was moving, but it looked like I was to the edge of the sun. I must have been so close to it that I wasn't able to see the corners, like I was in the middle of it. And take this how you want to take it, or take it with a grain of salt. Wherever this place took me, like it was so going so fast. I remember falling to the ground of this ship, and this ship was like the one of the ships. Some of them were smaller in size, and some of them were very large. The one I was in, it almost looked like a personal aircraft that fit one, and the way it moved, like it would whoosh, and I remember it going like I was not in the earth anymore. Okay, I remember falling to the ground, and wherever I was passing stuff. Like there was things I was seeing as I was going up there, passing. What, like, look, whatever I was seeing, I knew that human beings were not supposed to be in these places, because if I, in the form that I'm in now, in a body, not a glorified body, a flesh, okay? The places I was seeing, if this was happening in real life and not just a vision, I would have died instantly, okay? Because the radioactivity and these things I was seeing was past human understanding. I came to this place in space that I've never seen before, okay? And this radioactivity sun thing that I was seeing, and it's gonna sound weird, you guys. I almost, no, I was face to face with God. That is the weirdest thing to say. But he wasn't in the form that we see him in, sitting on his throne. Whatever I was sawing was at the end and at the last part of space that humans have never been able to reach. This was at an edge of the whole universe, okay? This is where I was. This thing, this bright force field sun looking thing, like I was like close with it. Like, and I was looking out from the ship to at it, and God was talking to me. And I knew that this was God. But he, again, he wasn't in a form like Jesus came to the earth. It was just like, he was just like this vast thing, this vast like light thing. But like I felt fear. Like I knew this was God, and he was speaking to me, and his voice was loud, okay? And I was in such close proximity to him that I felt this massive fear. And it's almost like my body, my spirit and my soul was like almost like felt like disintegrated. Like I felt like I was just gonna melt, like just like I don't know how to explain it, like butter on a hot plate. Like it just, I felt this massive fear in my chest, like my heart was just gonna explode or melt in my chest. And I was like pleading with God, like, and I was talking to this light thing, and I was like, God, send me back. I shouldn't be up here. Like, I shouldn't be here. Send me back. This thing that I was in, this ship or whatever it was, it couldn't even stand being where I was. I could see that it was like pieces peeling back from it. And I knew this and I could see it. And I was like pleading with God. And he was saying something to me, but it was all I could remember is that the voice was very deep and very loud. But he spoke in a language I couldn't understand. And look, all I could say is that this place, I don't know why God takes me a lot of times in visions to space, this part in space, but this point where I was the furthest part. I've never reached this place before because I've had visions of space before, but this place in particular was different. And again, I was pleading with God, like, God, I was like yelling, okay? Send me back. Send me back. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't, please send me back. It was like the Tower of Babel all over again. And initially, when I first entered into this vision, that's what I heard, Tower of Babel. And it kept repeating Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel will be like it was saying, the voice was like say the Tower of Babel will like in the, like before it will repeat again, it will happen again. The Tower of Babel, human beings will human beings would try to ascend to God like in the old days of what was in the old days will be like in the new times. Tower of Babel, Tower of Babel. I was like, wow, like why do I keep hearing this? Like why do I keep having visions about people recreating this sin of the Tower of Babel? But like just to conclude what happened when I went up there, other people were also ascending up there, and I saw the other ships, like these aliens or whatever demons trick these people to do this. They tricked them, and a lot of them died, and some of them disintegrated when they went up there, because those things, those ships, was not made. It only could reach some point in those heavens, okay? Because the space is heavens, the layers of heavens. But some of them died, and some of them, their ships burnt away. This was a trap, okay? And some of the people that was starting to walk up to the ships, like the guy that was like shocked, there was something going on with the people because the way they stood and like they had the look of shock on their face, like their reactions didn't seem natural in some way, because there seems to be some kind of weird mind control, because it's like they were like curious about the beings, but there was like this weird, eerie silence. Like they were communicating with them. The demonic forces was communicating with them inside their minds, but the people barely spoke any words, and the way they moved and talked was just like, it was almost like they were being controlled. Like there was a force that was controlling them, and they would like, I don't think outside of whatever mind control device or spiritual technology they were using to control these groups, these massive groups of people that was around the ships, if this wasn't being done, those people would have never approached those beings. There was something going on, because even the way the guy was like had his eyes, like he seemed like he was like fighting something, like he, if it was up to him, he would have ran from the scene. Like it was really weird. And you guys, when I got to this edge, and again, I believe this place that I saw, it's past heaven. Like it is past the heavenly realms. This place was the end of the this was place was the end of space. Okay? And the end of time. Well, God says he's the beginning and the beginning and the last, the first and the last. That's because he's at the edge of everything. Like it's very hard to explain, but he is the thing that holds the universe together, and the edge of everything. He's at the edge of and the end of everything. I don't know how to explain that, but when I got to this place and I was begging and pleading God to send me back, to get me out of there, I saw him hovering in this thing, and God was like looking at me, and I could feel his, even though he was in this form of like this like thing, I could feel his eyes looking at me, and he was observing me, and he was looking down at me in this ship, and and then he spoke to me, and this time I understood him, and he told me, I will send you back. He said, I will send you back. And then he said, it will take faith. He said, it will take faith for you to reach back, and for you to reach back to the earth. And I was like, at first I was like confused. And then all of a sudden, the ship that I entered into, I saw it go like this, whoosh, like it was like, you guys, the speed, unbelievable. The human eye couldn't even catch this. Like it, after he spoke these words, and I saw myself like descending back to the earth, you guys. As it was descending back, there was like, you guys, pieces of this ship was peeling off like paper, and parts of it was catching on fire. And then I remember standing in the ship, and I was like almost like gritting my teeth and holding my fist, and I was saying something in my spirit, and I repeated it. It will take faith to reach back to the earth. It was the strangest thing. And you guys, can you believe this? How do, I'm gonna explain again, I'm gonna explain this the best way I can. Can you believe faith surrounded the ship? Like faith is an actual like force. Like there was there was something emitting from the spaceship, and it was a force, and it was called faith, and it was, look, the best way I can describe this stuff, but faith was taking me back to the earth, and I was like seeing stuff again, like all of the things I passed on the way there. And I saw this one circular object that was like blue in color, and if for some reason it was like circulating. I saw it on my way there and I saw it on my way back, but it was like it's like a I don't know what it was, but it was like it was turning like a clock. This like blue. It looked like a large blue planet. Best way I could describe it. And behind it was like that the light that was emitting that I was told you God was talking to me from it, but up close it would look like that yellowish light was right behind that blue planet, but it wasn't. I had to go way past it. As I'm going past it, again, it looked close to that blue planet, but that's because that light that God was up there was so massive that it filled that entire space. So it looked close, but it wasn't. It was not close at all. So I passed that planet, whatever that blue thing was, I was kept circulating and circulating. But this was not Earth because I came from Earth, okay? This was something else. And the only reason I knew it wasn't close is because when I passed that blue place that was circulating and I zoomed to that place that was God was talking to me from that looked like the sun, and it was like fire coming off of it. Look, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to put this stuff in words. Like, it's no words. It's no words. It's no words. I saw many years ago when I became a Christian, before I even had, like, good access to a phone. I talked about a couple years ago when I first started YouTube that there was this end time vision that I had, and I'm just going to talk about this one portion because it correlates to this. I had a vision that it was the end of time, okay, you guys? I saw this huge palm tree, right? And the sky was dark, you guys, and it was people running like crazy, and there was something happening with the weather in the world, but it was happening everywhere, in every country, every continent, everywhere. And it was like the whole moon and the sun was gone. I don't know what it was, but there was this really bad weather, and like it was like this darkness I've never seen on the earth. And I had this feeling, and there was a smell like a ocean, like I could smell like the ocean, and almost like every single river in the entire world was overflowing into every country, and it was rising above our skies. Like it was the strangest thing. I remember people running like crazy trying to grab shelter, and this wind picked up that was so forceful. It was so bad that I remember running into the street, and people stopped and parked their cars everywhere. There was millions of cars parked in random weird all over the place weird places. I remember trying to run through like the street and being blown back by the wind onto the hood of this car. And as I was being blown back, like I remember hitting it like hard, like boom, like I heard the sound of my body hitting the car. And I saw this big palm tree. It was massive, and it rose up out of the water, and it was covered in water like a tsunami, but it was a ball. Like it covered the whole entire tree. And somebody told me when I talked about this vision years ago that they believed that that part of the vision meant that Hawaii was going to be underwater. I'm not sure about that, but in the end times, that might be a possibility that Hawaii is going to be completely submerged. After I was blown back on the car and I saw the palm tree rising with that water, um, I saw the wealthy people on the earth, like all of the rich, right? I saw like almost like three different people, and one guy in particular, which I think is Elon Musk. Now that I'm going back to this vision, I think it was Elon Musk. There was one guy in particular, he was running to a ship, a spaceship, right? No, I shouldn't use the word spaceship. A rocket like the ones they use in NASA to go to space. He ran to the ship and he was saying, "We need to get to the emergency ships." And I had a knowing in this vision that there was some program that was created, and only the most elite and richest people. And I'm not talking like some like everyday rich person that got $1 million in the bank. I'm talking the like Rothschild status, Elon Musk status, Facebook dude status, whatever his name is from Facebook. And even they could barely afford this, but some of these people had these personalized spaceships, and they were in a program that was like preparing for mass destruction of the earth and for them to escape earth. I saw a man and he had dark hair, okay, and he was running to the ship, but I couldn't see his features, but I saw that he had dark hair and he was somewhat tall, and he ran to one of these ships, and the ship was shaped like um again like a rocket ship, but it was like the size to only fit one. Like this is how small they were, and it had like a a circular ball on top where you could see through it, like you could see what was going on through it, but only through this area. He ran to one of them and he led off into the ship, and it went right into the skies. I got into one of these as well for some reason. I don't know how, because I'm not rich, and I don't feel that I was a part of any programs, but for some reason I think God just wanted me to see this. But I led off into this ship, you guys, and I started going into the sky, and I heard the thoughts of the rich guy that was going up. He was saying, all these calamities are coming upon the earth, but I'm basically was saying, I'm so glad that I put my resources into this program and having this emergency resource, because now I can escape the I can escape the calamities of the end time, and I can escape the judgment of God. That's what he was saying in his subconscious, that he could escape this tribulation, the calamities that's coming on earth. And the worst part is that he said, I could escape the judgment of God. And I couldn't believe it. He thought that his physical body be taken out of the earth, going to another planet, because this thing had a destination for another planet other than Earth. Okay? And there was other people that was involved in it. Rich, they were wealthy people. This is a real I believe this is a real thing, and I've heard something about it years later after talking about it. But he believed that he was going to escape this. But let me tell you something. The people that started like ascending in these ships, they something happened to them worse than the people that stayed on the earth to accept their fate. Some when they got up there, I was not able to see what happened to them, but I had a knowing that something bad happened to them. But they were definitely informed once they got up there that they would not be escaping the judgment of God at all. And I'm sorry I didn't read you guys' comments, but I was really trying to get that out. And a lot of this stuff, it's just at a loss for words, because, again, we have a vocabulary here that we won't have in heaven, but they have a better vocabulary and different words that we don't have access to. So I'm trying the best I can. it's a cover story for the coming rapture. I believe so. I really do. Don't forget God sends a great delusion in the end days. Yes, he does. You're right, my friend. That's what it is. It's a part of the great falling away, the great delusion. Yes, it's a weapon to evaporate places or things. I believe so, man. Like some of the stuff that you're about to see on this earth, it is past people's imaginations. Okay? It's more likely angels and demons are in interming interdimensional, not from outer space. I agree. But these demons, they masquerade themselves like the devil does with a false image. A false image. Again, please listen to this video with your spiritual ears and ask God for understanding. I've been noticing as well as spiritual gifts have been increasing for me personally. I told you guys that for some reason God gave me the gift of like spiritual scent, and I don't know how to explain that, but sometimes when I'm like talking to people or I hear a story, there's a set, I will smell something associated with the person, the story, or something. It may seem insignificant, but I know he's gearing me up for something. Okay, and then the next one I've been increasing for me too is people will be telling me like a story, you guys, and before they get to the next part of the story, I'm already seeing it in a vision. Like I was watching this man's testimony the other day, and he was talking, and I paused this video, and I said, I paused this video because I was testing out what I was hearing and seeing visually in a vision, right? I paused this video because I heard something leading up to what he was gonna say in a vision, like right then and there. And when I went to play it, he said the exact same thing, and I've never seen this video. I saw exactly what he was gonna say. I saw it play out. I saw the people he was describing. It was crazy. You guys, like, this is a bit of a personal story as well, but in my quest of like when I was like trying to attempt to date, go on dates and stuff, I've completely given up on that stuff because finding godly people is very difficult, especially people that was really in the faith. There was this like failed date I went on, right? And I was not interested in this man after the stuff he was saying because he seemed like he wasn't like healed from his marriage, previous marriage, and it was some crazy story about his wife cheating on him or whatever. I've never seen this woman a day in my life, and this guy, this is my first time hanging out with him in person. He was talking about his ex-wife, right? The story of how they became divorced and how their marriage dissolved. And as he's speaking, I'm literally seeing this woman without him giving me zero descriptions of him. And I see her. She's a tall brunette lady, right? Slender, and she has dark chocolate brown, like chocolate brown hair. And I see like her face. She's a very slender face and this very narrow pointed nose. Okay, and as he's talking to me, I started like I started interrupting him because I wanted to clarify what I was seeing, and I said to him, "Is your ex-wife a tall, slender woman with dark brown hair?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, she is." And he's so enthralled in the story or whatever he's saying, like he's not notice. He didn't notice that he didn't tell me a description of her at all. And I'm seeing this woman like he's going on about the story of how they became divorced, and he was telling me this story about like why she left him. And as he's talking about the reasoning of like the dissolve of their marriage, I saw the woman, I saw her working like this job, and she was like very consistent with this specific job she worked with, and she had this very serious look on her face. But what I didn't know about her, this woman was a very much a go-getter. Like she was a provider. She was the provider of her family, right? And I heard her saying something in her subconscious. Like I heard her speaking in her head, and she said something about the husband. She said something like, "I'm so tired of like this. I'm so tired of like my life with him because this guy is like." She said basically that he was lazy, and she said like he was lazy and he wasn't a provider, and she was saying something like in her head, like I could see like her thoughts, like what she was thinking within that moment. She was saying like, I have to keep going to this job every day, and it's because of him and like his. She's like, he's so inconsistent. Like, this is why I have to keep getting up early every day to go to this place, because I can't rely on this guy. I can't rely. He is just. She was like, she had this impression of this guy that he was just lazy. She said that he was lazy, and he was not a provider. He wasn't picking up. She's saying like basically he wasn't picking up his side of the family. And even though he was telling me these reasons of why they got divorced, there was like a whole nother story of to as to why their marriage dissolved. But God was showing me that this was the focal point of the animosity she had towards the guy, and why she decided ultimately to leave. I didn't say I didn't say that, but like as he was talking, I was seeing this entire thing play out. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. Look, I wasn't interested in him at all. Okay, I just tell him I'll pray for you, brother. I'll pray for you, and I just like wrapped it up real quick. I ate my ice cream and I left. But this is a weird, to me, a little bit of a stranger gift that God has been really slowly giving me. But sometimes it is a little bit weird because I'll see people doing something that probably should be private. You know, sometimes it's like private, but it's like a vision playing out right there and then, and it's really weird. But again, I mean, I'm happy for it because it does give me clarity, and I guess an advantage, I guess, to know if people are being honest or dishonest with me. I don't know, but yeah, I'm I'm more likely. Oh yeah, I've seen read this. The idea of more advanced aliens is an extension of evolution theory. It is a lie. The lie the world wants us to believe. Exactly, my friend. Exactly on the money. And they've been plotting this deception for many years leading up to these moments. You guys be watchful. I've been noticing an extreme agitation against Christians, against believers. And this is getting worse year by year, but within this month, I've been noticing it even more. Like, it is this, like, if you look around your job, your family, you know, your coworkers, even just like people that you normally see in your day to day, whether it's a grocery store you visit or whatever it is, slowly but surely, there's this seed being planted within our world of extreme animosity and bias against Christians. And people, people use the term microaggression, but I've been noticing this more and more lately, and it's more spiritual than it is physical, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood. But be careful, be mindful, keep in prayer, of course, keep in the faith, pray to God and keep your faith with God. Also, I will encourage people in the time that we are in, and you can bring this, God, take it with a grain of salt, but it might be time to start bringing a weapon with you. And, you know, like the Bible says, watch and pray. okay? Or should I say, people say too, watch and pray. Because slowly but surely, there's going to be this buildup. It is happening. Extreme aggression against believers. And I'm just like I've been going places like, just about my day and my work, and I've noticed it. I've noticed it. So please, you guys, be mindful, be watchful. Everything in this earth is against us because it's against God. Because this place has fallen away and it's been taken over by abominable demons, creatures, unclean spirits. But you'll notice nowadays, and I'm not talking about targeted individuals, but you'll notice that people are slowly watching you more and more lately. And you'll catch people at the corner of your eye watching you, staring you down, or it's almost like keeping tabs on you. But they're very much aware of your presence and they're very much aware of you being in these places. So be careful. It started with these mass shootings of the churches. It is a sign. But again, I don't know what state all of us are in, but keep a weapon. Keep in prayer. Look, these people on this earth, they lack knowledge. Jesus said that his people perish for a lack of knowledge. But we are in a time where the lines are being drawn. And I could see it in my own family. Even in my own family, the line is drawn. I had a complete falling out with a family member the other day, my sister, because of the demon worship that she's a part of. I spoke to her the other day and she told me she got in touch with her higher self and that she's been communicating with a spirit guide and it's been manifesting and talking to her and giving her visions of the future. I warned her and I told her, you don't know what you're messing with. You don't know that these things are demons. And I told her, there will be a day that they will physically attack you. And this was me prophesying to her. They will try to physically harm you, not just spiritually, and they will come after you. But I told her, I will be there for you. But until then, be careful. And she said, you're judging me. You're judging me. You're being judgmental. She hung up the phone on me. I'm wash my hands of the situation. Because if she's going to choose the devil over God, she's not one of us. Okay? She talked about some foolishness about when I first became a Christian. And she was like, yeah, when you started fighting spirituality, shame came in, and it's like you became ashamed of certain things that you found out about aliens, because I was talking about aliens around that time when I was heavily deceived. The theme is aliens today, I guess. If that was a coincidence, but I guess not. Maybe not. She was like, yeah, it's like you when you found out that aliens existed, you shame came into you when you became a Christian, and then you equated them to demons. And I just laughed at her. I just laughed, and I was like, you thought that was about shame? I said, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what I went through during that time when I was becoming a Christian. You don't even know what I saw and what I've experienced. You don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't about shame. I saw things. I experienced things that were beyond this world, okay? That made me have a faith in God and have an understanding of God and knew that he was real to the point where it doesn't matter how far I've backslidden in my faith. I never ever was ignorant enough to believe that there wasn't a God and that his name wasn't Jesus. I knew that he existed because I've encountered him and I've encountered a lot of demons. They were they were tormenting me. They were assaulting me. Some of them physically violated me. Some of them manifested in that place that I was living in New York. Some of them threw things in the house. Some of them was beating on the doors when I was in prayer and beating on the ceiling and the walls. Some of them came into my dreams. Some of them was physically touching me while I was sleeping and pulling things from me, like the blankets or the pillows. One of them pulled my hair from the back and slammed my head into the armrest of the chair, the couch that I was sitting in. A bunch of them was talking to me as well. They were in clear voices telling me, "You think you're going to tell people about Jesus? You think you're going to tell people about God?" They were threatening me. They were trying to kill me. One of the demons even teamed up with an actual human being that was using demonic powers, that was astral projecting into my home and took me to a dark place where I saw a demon that had teeth all over their mouth like a shark. And it looked like a female demon. She had on pieces of like clothing, but like she was also lewdly dressed, like naked in some areas. And she was ugly in her face. She looked disgusting. She was crawling on the floors and the walls. And the man that was actually a human being that was talking about me and talking to this demon, he was communicating with her. And they were plotting on me. And I saw them. The only reason I made it through that time is Jesus Christ. Because what I was seeing and experiencing would make anybody want to kill themselves. It was insane. This was happening every day. I was experiencing these things every single day, and it was multiple experiences. The one of the worst ones was the guy that came into my home that was wearing the hoodie. This was another astral projection because they were doing everything in their power to stop me from praying. I prayed so much during this time because I was under so much attack. I was praying for hours. I would pray 1 hour, and I would go about my day, then pray again for the next hour. And stuff was happening, okay? I saw buildings crashing in the spiritual realm, which I did not understand what that meant, but now I do. And these things, I was praying against demon forces that was in my neighborhood. They got so angry and so upset, and they were attacking me and telling me, "Stop praying." I kept hearing their voices. "Stop praying." And I heard them say, "Stop her." I heard them. I could hear them. I could hear their ugly voices. They had these deep voices, and they were muscular and tall. They got so desperate that they used people, witches, warlocks. They were teaming up with people. And I've never seen nothing like this before in my life. And I didn't know that was possible. Demons working with human beings to take down other humans or to oppress them. I learned so much during that time. But there are some people on this earth that work directly with demons. So, in her speaking in her ignorance, she has no idea, even though I've tried to explain to her what happened to me. But she thought I was a croak, thought I was crazy. I tried to explain to her why I feel the way I do and why I feel so strongly about it. There was one night I was getting massively attacked, horribly attacked so bad. There was something in the room and it was like hovering above me while I was laying in that couch. It was a terrifying feeling and it was threatening me. And it was telling me stuff like it was gonna kill me. The demon that was in the apartment, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna hurt you. You think you're gonna tell people about God?" They would always repeat themselves too. I was such in fear, and I didn't even know how to pray at this time because this was in the beginning. I slowly learned to pray afterwards, but I was such in fear, you guys, that I was laying in this couch, covered my face, my whole body with this damn sheet. I wanted to pee so bad, but I wouldn't get up because I was terrified. I was so terrified because of the stuff it was saying to me. I couldn't sleep. I stopped eating. I just started eating to survive at this point. I was just such in distress. I was in a horrible state of this depression, and I was just existing. I just couldn't take it no more. This thing that was outside of the sheet that was hovering, and then there was other ones that was coming and they kept talking. Oh, we're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? We're gonna kill you. And at some point, like I was like on the point of like tears. Like I was about to start crying. I was shaking under the sheets, like shaking, because I could feel the presence so heavy. And then I was like, Jesus, help me. Help me, Jesus, please. Jesus came, and I heard his voice, and I heard boom. I heard this thunder. Still to this day, I have no idea if it was raining and there was thunder outside, or if I heard the thunder when he spoke to me. I have no idea, but I was such in a daze, and then I heard God come into the room, and I heard his voice to me, and he said to me, and I heard when he was talking to me, and kept hearing lightning strikes. It was like boom, 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 like it was popping, and God came, and he said, "Get up," and I was like, what am I hearing? Like I'm hearing stuff. He says, "Get up," and he said, "Go to the bathroom and go pee," and I couldn't believe it. God told me to go pee. Like I was that's how like in distress like I was like laying there like fully awake like God like help me Jesus help me, they won't leave me alone, the demons, they keep oppressing me, they keep talking to me, they keep throwing stuff in the house, like help me. Like he told me to stop being in fear. He's like, stop being in fear. He said, get up. He literally, like, his voice was so loud you would think he's yelling. He told me to get up. He said, go pee. And I immediately got up and went to the bathroom and relieved myself. Like, it was painful. And I remember laying back down. I laid back down and I felt so much better. I felt so much better. And I could tell, like, when he came into the room, those things left. They left. I was so happy they left. And you could feel them leaving because there was this evil presence in there when they were in there. It was horrible. It was horrible. I'm glad God saved you from the demons. Me too. I'm sorry. Thank you, friend, but me too. It was a horrible time. It was a it was a horrible time. I wish to never go through that again. I wish to never see that stuff again. That was horrible. It was horrible. I'm beyond words. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. Sorry, guys. When I think back to that time, it was just so bad. It was so bad. Like, I was so desperate. I was asking any and everybody I saw. I was like, will you pray for me? Please. I even remember going to the post office and I told this lady straight up that was working there, I was like, I'm seeing evil demons, spiritual things. They keep attacking me. Will you pray for me? And I earnestly meant that. And she said, yeah, she was so shocked. The lady was so shocked. She's like, yeah, I'll pray for you. I remember weeks later coming back to that post office and I was dropping something off and she said, hey, are things better? And I said, yes. I could sleep now. I could sleep. Thank you for praying for me. I finally, after weeks of torment, of assaults, I was finally able to have sleep. I must have got maybe 2 hours of sleep during those times, if I was lucky. I was just delirious. I was losing it. I started like, just like existing because I was so tormented by what I was seeing, and it just wouldn't stop. I remember being on the bus one day. I was going home, and it was nighttime, and I saw this demon as the bus was passing this parking lot. And if you're not spiritually inclined, you would have thought it was a person, but that was not a person. It was dragging itself across the parking lot, and it was like but it was like backwards. I don't know how to explain that. And I saw the hands like dragging itself, like I was like, and I remember looking out the windows, like kind of like shocked, like what am I seeing right now? What am I seeing? And then it turned its head and it looked up at me, and I was just like looking at it like, it was a form of torment. It was a form of torment. These were the same demons that people see in homes that pretend to be your loved ones, familiar spirits, all that. They take on the form of people, but they're not people. They're not people. I remember you said you felt her prayer on you coming down like a gold or rain. Yes, great memory, my friend. Yes, yes, I remember it. Thank you for reminding me too. But I'll never forget that too. When I went home, you're right. Thank you for bringing that up. When I went home from that post office, I asked other people too to pray for me, and that was truly a moment of breakthrough. You know, because I didn't even want to go back to that house, but I remember standing in the living room close to the door area, and there's something started coming down from the ceiling, and I could feel it like little twinkles, like touching my skin, like, and it did feel like rain or something. But every time it touched me, it's like pick, pick. I felt it all over my body, but it was. I remember looking up and like feeling it come down on me like raindrops. But it was touching me everywhere, like it hit my face first, and I was peek, peek, peek. And when that happened, like I felt like this heaviness lift from the entire apartment. It was amazing. I felt my soul get relieved. Like there was this relief in my soul, like there was heavy burden lifted, like instantly. And I knew in that moment that things were gonna get better. I knew things were gonna get better. I felt it. I felt it. Whatever that was that God sent down like rain from heaven on me, like things just improved afterwards. Thank you for remembering that, Lloyd. Sorry, you guys. I feel like allergies are terrible. Hey guys, I've been on here long enough. I don't know if there's anything else I wish to share, but just be careful out there, y'all. Be careful. This alien deception is coming fast. And I wholeheartedly believe that the government is only disclosing this because they believed initially this was within their control. It never was. The only reason they're disclosing is because things are about to get crazy and they know it and it's outside of their control. They know that this stuff is going to spread everywhere and we're going to start seeing sightings everywhere. Even one of my coworkers said this, her son saw something where he was living in Arizona recently. Spaceships in the sky. People are uploading those videos like crazy. Not on top of that, people are sighting giants all over the mountains in different countries everywhere. Those giants that are in Asian places as well, the Asian mountains. Was it the Himalayas? No, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Don't quote me on that, but a lot of Asian nations where people live that are in high altitude, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Those things are up there, and you're gonna start seeing them come down from there. That's gonna be one of the places you're gonna see it come down first. There's also going to be a massive flood in an Asian country. I don't know if it's China, Korea, or Japan. I have no idea. But there's going to be a horrible flood. You're going to hear about this, and God forgive me, I don't want this to happen. Millions are going to die from what's coming. Look, I don't know why this is going to happen, but it's weather related. But I saw this a few times. Whenever I think of like Asian countries, I keep seeing this horrible calamity come on one of the Asian nations. I don't know which one it is. If I could guess, um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's China. I think it's China. I really believe it's China. But something bad is going to happen. Something bad. Like, people all over the earth are going to hear about this. Like, you're going to hear about this in the U.S., and it's going to be all over the news. But it's not going to kill hundreds. It's going to kill millions of people. And I'm sad to say that. God forgive me. God forgive me. And people, I know there's a lot going on right now. In addition to the so called aliens, the giants, the monkey people, the zombie stuff is coming. The zombie apocalypse is coming. There's going to be demonoid zombie people on this earth. All of this stuff is going to start happening at the same time. It's going to happen at the same time. It's going to be like a domino effect, man. It's going to be a domino. And when this first begins, it's going to come out of nowhere. Like how it starts, it's going to be a regular day, and boom, aliens, ships, portals, boom, horrible weather, typhoon, whatever is coming. Monkey people start descending from the forest. The giant's gonna come out. It's gonna be like a circus on this earth. Like, it's gonna be so much stuff happening at the same time that people won't even know how to comprehend it. Well, guys, that's all I wanted to share. You guys, may the Lord bless you. May He shine His light upon you. May the God of the Bible give you peace, not only today, but forever and ever. And those who believe say, Amen. You guys, it's hot over here. It's night. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm wrapping up my work week. Please keep me in y'all prayers. I've been like battling against the spirit of anger and unforgiveness and wrothness and impatience. So please pray for me and my family, and pray for protection as we come on here, as I come on here and talk about these things. Sometimes things happen where God has to intervene to protect me and keep me from certain people or entities. But I have faith in God that He will cover His elect. But keep me in prayer. Keep me in prayer. Rest well, sis. Rest as well, my friend. Jack, I hope you get some sleep, my friend. I remember you said, yes, I saw this. Rest well, maybe doing a live this weekend. If you're free, bless you and take care of yourself. Amen, my friend. Yes, I'll try to come back on because I know it's a lot going on. I know I didn't come on here in a while, but it was just so much. I was gathering information and looking at stuff like, oh my goodness. But be mindful, y'all, about this whole stuff about the banks, about people pulling their money out and putting, like, hiding it. Keep a couple dollars somewhere, okay? Because it's gonna be a huge collapse, okay? It is really true. Like, the collapsing is here. There's no money. But store up some water and some food for yourselves, you guys. But anyway, y'all stay blessed in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Good night, y'all.